you do, search Rainier Avenue Radio. And remember, do not curse out your fellow drivers. This has been your Rainier Avenue Radio traffic update.
Welcome back to Clean Greens Living, broadcasting here live on Rainier Avenue Radio. It is your host, Queen Bree, back in the building. I'm super excited to join you guys today. We were gone for 2 weeks, and listen, we just needed a break. We needed some time. We needed some time for a little bit of self-care, and I feel like that is so on brand for the guest I have on today. But before I bring my guest on, I just want to make just a few announcements coming up. Thank you, Deontay. Donate on Venmo at Rainier Avenue Radio or online at RainierAvenueRadio.world. Please donate to Rainier Avenue Radio and help keep programs like Clean Greens Living going. So, listen, you see the comment section? I'm over here trying to be a professional, and I got somebody in the background directing my show. I have it in my notes to read the note that you gave. So please just sit tight, and it's going to happen. But I'm super excited to have our special guest on here, Melodie Janae. She'll be on here talking about her program, Roots and Rise, and her upcoming event, Spring into Self-Care. And I'm super excited to have her on today because I had to spring into some self-care and take some time off. So we're going to have her come on, and we're going to talk about all that she has going on and what does it mean to have self-care. So everyone, please welcome Melodie Janae. Woo. All right. Okay, girl, let me read you this message real quick. I was going to try to wait. You know, sometimes you just get into the moment, but it's so sweet. But let me read this message for you. All right. So Melodie is truly a force. From the Youth Ambassador Program to Lyrics Matter, and now building her own Roots and Rise. She's showing this community that young people aren't just a part of the future, they are the passport to it. Ooh, that's a good one. Watching her lead, create, and uplift others is something special. I am beyond proud of her and the light she continues to be for all of us. So that is from Deontay. Okay, and if you do not know, Deontay is host of Converge Media. He also does a lot in our community with gun violence prevention and also helping our people in our community who suffers from, suffers from addiction. He helps support them and give them resources. So Deontay, you also are someone in the community that we appreciate and we enjoy watching, and you just show up for everyone, and it doesn't matter what is going on. You're going to show up, whether it's gun violence, whether it's father and son, whether it's addiction, whether it's our youth who are needing community hours. So please, thank you for saying those kind words and being a part of our show today. All right, Melodie, welcome on.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah, you've been doing some good work. I first saw you on a panel at a mixer event, a networking event. And I was just blown away about the things that you were talking about and that you were doing and stepping up in our community as a young person. Mm-hmm. A lot of the times, especially when I grew up, young people were not really heard from.
Yeah.
So how is that navigating in this space of being a young person with a voice and speaking out on all the issues that's going on in your community?
It feels great. It feels great to be able to, be young and be able to have a voice for my generation, and just, be able to help us and be able to voice our needs, because I feel like that's very important. A lot of times, the older generation or the adults, they like speak for us, or they choose what we need to do. We're like, you shouldn't be doing this, you need to do this. But then it's like, we're not, it's a different time and it's a different environment, different like people, different things that we're exposed to. So we have to kind of adapt to those times, and like you can't adapt if you're not listening to us.
Yeah. So, okay, so you speak up. Like, I know for me, and we're going to get into your organization and all that you do, but that just really just made me think about that. For me, even as a grown up, I'm still like, for our elders, I'm all like, sometimes I pick and choose the words that I say. How do you navigate speaking up to your elders when they're not quite understanding what you're saying without them? Do you ever think, oh, they're gonna think I'm being disrespectful, or does that even you just go?
Sometimes, sometimes I feel like, yeah, sometimes, and sometimes I do speak, and then they'll be like take it as disrespect, but that like is never my intention. I never want to disrespect anyone. I just want to be able to voice my words and my opinion, and like if they take it as disrespect, that's not how I meant it. So like I don't.
You just like, okay, I said what I said.
Yeah.
Now let's move forward. I love it. All right, tell us about Roots and Rise. Tell us about your organization.
Roots and Rise Foundation is a nonprofit for young Black women, empowering young Black women just to be themselves and to find their identity. I just want to make young Black women feel seen, supported, heard, and surrounded in community. I feel like I didn't really have that when, growing into my teen years.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to provide that space for us.
Yeah. When I heard the things that you were doing with your organization, because I'm also a life coach, and that was my goal for Black women and mothers who didn't have a voice and wasn't heard. And when I heard that you was doing it for young girls, I was like, yes, get out.
Yeah.
And so how did you, like, what was the thought process? Because sometimes adults don't think that you understand what's going on in this world. So what made you say, I'm going to start an organization for women, for young adults like me who never had a voice coming up? What was that thought process like? Because most people, they know something's wrong, but they can't voice it. So how did you put a name to it and a voice to it?
It was kind of like, so I was going to school. Initially, I wanted to be a licensed clinical social worker. I still do. I'm going back to school. I took a little break in between, but I was going to school, and I was just like, I've been doing community work since I was little, like marches. We used to go feed the homeless every Sunday when I lived back in Baltimore. And so I just always had like a passion for helping people. Like helping other people makes me smile. Like watching people, putting a smile on other people's faces made me happy. It made me smile. So I just always had a passion for helping people. And I'm very passionate about mental health and breaking that stigma of mental health in our communities, but like Black communities, they don't believe in mental health at all. And so I just was like, how can I kind of bring the two together? And and I had friends who were like, yeah, you should definitely just do it. Do it. What's the worst? Do it.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of just like, okay, well, I'm doing it. And went from there. I started putting in the motion and finding a name and researching how to do stuff. My dad also helped me a lot, figuring out how nonprofit works and all the information I got to fill out, all the paperwork and legal stuff and all that stuff. But I started that process at 18, so about 2 years ago, and I did my first event. There was 4 people in the room, and I was getting a little discouraged, but I was had a few other people in my ear telling me this is needed, for our Black ladies and our Black, young women. So it just was a reminder to keep going. It was kind of, tough at first, but we're finally getting out there.
What was the toughness? What part was?
Just it was discouraging when I planned all this stuff for my first event and was promoting and stuff like that. And then only 4 people showed up, and that was friends included. So I was oh, am I really cut out for this, or should I even be, doing this? But then, yeah.
So you said your first event, only a few people showed up. What made you keep going?
I had a lady, Miss KK. She came to the event, and she was just like kind of inspired by my story. She was just kind of inspired by the story and just was like, she talked into me a bit and was like she was praying for me, and she could just see how passionate and stuff I was about it, and so she just was like speaking life into me and like, you should definitely keep going.
Nice. And you just kept going. And so tell us about what events have you done in the past?
So my first event was a sip and paint. We did a sip and paint. And then I do like a lot of collab work with my dad, Solutions for Seattle. He has a nonprofit as well.
What was the nonprofit?
Solutions for Seattle. Just like bringing community together, hosting events and stuff like that. And so my first event was a sip and paint. I did a Spring into Self-Care event, but it wasn't as like this one that I'm doing now. I put a little more effort into this one, or thought into it. And so I did that one last year too. And then we did Gift of Freedom toy drive. We get a Gift of Freedom toy drive, providing toys for people or for young kids who have a parent or parents incarcerated. And then we just had an event on Sunday where Seattle Appreciation Day. We brought out, the community for free food, music, games. We had a few performances there. And then, yeah.
Nice. You talk about, I just want to come back to this really quick because we talk about the event and how it started off slowly and it's growing and it's big. What are ways that you were able to get more engagement? Because, we talk a lot, like you're here to help support young women.
Yeah. And
we talked about how some young women don't know how to put a name to it or know that these events are for them. What was something that you did to help bring that engagement? And then what are some things that the community can do to help support you and your mission?
So I actually have social anxiety. That's kind of also the reason why I was starting it and why I was discouraged. But I kind of just been learning that you can't get the help that you need if you don't ask for it, or like if you don't reach out. And so that was the big part of, networking and reaching out and making connections, that I seen a difference in my engagement and difference in, in people being involved. And so more recently, I just been reaching out to organizations, reaching out to people. Hey, I heard you do this. Can you come pull up? I heard you have a business and you provide donations for people. I need a few donations. Can we collab and network and, just be a community and provide for our community. And so that was kind of what I was doing differently. And then as far as the community help, just like support in any way that you can, any way that you feel led to.
I love how you mentioned, and even right now, if it seems like, not to put you on the spot, you're a little nervous to be on here. And I just wanted to call you out because I get nervous too. Like I do this all the time and I still get nervous and like, oh my God, did I say the right thing? Did I do the right thing? But I love that you mentioned that because people need to see you they need to see people like us in these spaces to be like, oh, I'm nervous, I have social anxiety, but we're still doing it and we're still getting it done. And you didn't give up and you keep going and your audience keeps growing and keeps growing. So I love that you mentioned that and said that. People don't believe I'm shy. So maybe I said the word wrong. Maybe it is just social anxiety of like reaching out to people. And because this isn't easy. Work like this isn't easy, but it takes special people to come in here and do it and keep going. And I love how you talked about how you was like, okay, you just took a deep breath and you just started reaching out to people and getting it done. So you have a Spring Into Self-Care event coming up.
Yes.
On the 16th.
Yep.
So tell us about what that is and what can we expect at this event?
It's just an event for us to kind of pour into ourselves and pour into others. It is May 16th from 2 to 4 p.m. at Rainier Beach Community Center. And we're just gonna talk about self-care. What does self-care look like? How to take care of yourself as a young lady. I think that self-care is so important. Like regardless of the work that any type of work that you do, you must be able to take care of yourself first before you are able to, take care of other people. And then you can expect games. We have a few games set up. We have a raffle with some great items. The Double Dutch Divas will be there. We have free food, music, and an inspiring word coming from you.
Well, thank you. Yes, I will be speaking at your event. What I love about this, like, if I could cry, I would, but I grew up in the 80s and crying was not happening, okay? It was shut down. However, this, watching you, listening to you, and speaking to you is so beautiful for our Black girls and for women like us who were girls like you. Oh my gosh, I am going to cry. Who were like us and didn't have a voice and didn't know. And now it's just beautiful to watch our young girls, our young women step up and be like, no, this, I don't know what this is, but it's not okay. And I'm going to step up and I'm going to show other young women like me, like this wasn't happening for us in our era. So it's just beautiful to me to see you guys do this and live your oh girl, you got me crying. Jesus, I do not cry and I'm crying in public. But it's just beautiful. It's beautiful because there's still women. I'm in my 40s and I'm still just now figuring out. We're just now figuring out. And I know you're still figuring it out. I'm not trying to make you, because it gets nerve-wracking when people put you on pedestals and you're like, wait. I get it. But it's still just beautiful to watch your generation step out of something, and it makes me proud. So
thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for doing this. And I'm super excited about your event coming up. So tell me, how do you, what do you do for your self-care?
First, I just pray. That's my first one. Any and everything. Pray. And then I am also a writer, creative poet. So that would be my next outlet. I like to write. And yeah, sometimes I just need a few days to be in my room by myself listening to some music. But my biggest one is just praying and writing. That's my self-care.
People don't understand how cathartic that is. That is it's so helpful. And I love that you mentioned pray and write, because most people think, when we think self-care, we think, facials and nails done. And yes, that is a part of self-care, but it's also your mental. It's a part of self-care. Like, how are you feeling? Taking inventory on how you feel. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember one time we had a show about emotional intelligence and just talking about putting a name on how you feel, because sometimes we feel angry, but what does that stem from? Because there's many different components of being angry.
Yeah.
Like, I'm angry because I'm scared, or I'm angry because I'm hurt. And what does that mean? So writing and praying is a lot to do with self-care, as well as making sure we look good on the outside, because we're going to always make sure we look good on the outside.
Yeah.
But how do you
get
feel
your hair done, nails done, but if your mental ain't
right, it's going to fall flat a little bit. Yeah. So what is your goals and hopes for Roots and Rise going forward?
Like I mentioned earlier, my hopes and dreams for Roots and Rise is just making young women feel seen, heard, and supported. Like, that's my main goal. However I get that through, events or mentorship programs. However, I just want young women to know, Black young women, to know that they are safe, they are heard, they are seen, and they are supported, and that we are here, to help and guide and lead.
How can community and young women connect with you and join your mission and your vision and support and donate?
You can find us at rootsandrisefoundation.net or on Instagram, The Roots and Rise.
Nice. Okay. And just one quick break that I forgot to mention in the beginning was Clean Greens is an extension of Clean Greens Farm and Market. We are a local nonprofit farm here in Seattle. We grow produce in Duval. We bring it back to the city. We have a free food giveaway for our community of color who cannot afford fresh organic produce, and we also have a CSA program. Our CSA program, which is a community-supported agriculture, which our community buys their produce up front. We grow it, they pick it up over the 16 weeks. It is our CSA portion is now open. So if you wanted to buy a share, please go to www.cleangreensfarmmarket.com and grab a share. If you're a community member that wants to sign up for the free share, please email me at cleangreensfarmmarket. I said I was Black Dollar Clean Greens at gmail.com. I promised that I will remember my my Gmail when I got back here, and I still didn't. Being a founder of Champs, I can relate to self-care. Good for you for pausing to care for you. Congratulations on the work that you are doing. From Danielle Pebbles Jackson. Sorry, hope I read your name right. It's a little far. As you get older, those words look a little smaller. So do you feel supported with what you're doing in our community?
Yes, definitely. I feel like as we are growing, yeah, I do.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'm very excited what is to come for Roots and Rise Foundation.
So you have self-care. Do you have any other events, or do you guys do you have like meetings with young girls outside of that?
I'm trying to, as we grow, I don't have like a big team right now. It's just me and my dad and my friends who are kind of supporting me, behind the scenes wise. But my hopes is, soon I'll be able to, not just host events, but have a space for us to just come and, relax and have conversations and stuff like that. But as of right now, we're just doing events.
I'm so excited to see what's to come from this. This really blows me away that this is happening in our community for our little girls. What are the ages that you are focused on?
I said like about 10 to 25. I think that's like,
Yeah. That's right.
Young, like middle school age to college about.
Yeah, that's when they're starting to come into their own. I feel like, because school can be damaging sometimes. I had 2 daughters, and they were so bold and so proud, and they went into school, and I don't know, something just happened. So
school will do that to you. People can be mean. Kids can be mean. How
did you navigate like people being mean, but you still was confident in yourself and moving forward?
I wasn't. Like I said, I struggled with social anxiety. There was times I was in high school and I was like, doing the thing, and then I went online school because like I wasn't really talking to nobody, and then I had to go back to school because I was like, this not really working for me. So it was just like an up and down thing, and
nice.
I didn't really gain my confidence until about a year and a half or 2 ago. So. It's just
honey, you went ahead of the game, because I'm like, see, when I was gaining my confidence, maybe 30ish, still working on it every time. Because you go from school, then you go to life, and then you have to remind yourself, right? But I feel like from what I've heard, you have a good support system with your dad and with your friends and random women that come in and pour life into you. And I love that. I can't get over enough about this happening right now at this time with young women your age, and the focus of 10 years old, because that is kind of when they start to come into their own and start to really take on other people's opinions of them. So what would be some advice that you've learned with just being who you are and navigating this world as a young Black woman and starting a business? What would be some advice that you would want to give to a young woman that may be listening today?
Don't let people tell you who you are. Just, be who you are. Figure out who you are for yourself. Like what you want to do with your life. Don't let the opinions of other people fall onto you.
That's good advice. I feel like that's good advice for young women and women, because it's like it doesn't matter the age. People still try to tell you and put you in boxes of who you are.
Yes. Don't let nobody put you in no box.
Right, and tell you how to do this and how to do that. So I appreciate you taking the time to step out of your own social anxiety to do this for young women and know how important it is. And you got my support.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And any way I can help you, any way our community can help you, please let us know. I'm just thinking there's another organization, I can't think of the name right now, that I want to connect you with that also does stuff for young girls, and maybe you guys can do something together.
Okay.
Like, not trying to put more on your plate.
You know,
And if you need help, let me know. Because I'm all like, listen, girl, we need a young women's conference. Let's do this.
What?
So
coming near you.
Coming near you.
January, women's
Yes.
conference.
Okay, yes, let's do it. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for talking about Risen Rise. No problem. Spring into Self-Care, May 16th, 2 to 4 at
Rainier Beach Community Center.
Rainier Beach Community Center, not to be confused with Rainier
yes.
Community Center. That's why I let you say that part, because I always be getting confused about that part. So Rainier Beach Community Center, I'm so excited. I cannot wait for what's to come and this event. So keep doing it. And
Thank you.
hopefully we can have you back on the show and talk more about the things that you're doing. January, we're going to have a conference coming up. So we'll be here to talk about that.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Clean Greens Living, broadcasting here live on Rainier Avenue Radio. It is your host, Queen Bree. We'll see you next week.